What if your mind never stopped racing? What if every moment was flooded with visions, possibilities of what could be, futures that shimmer like mirages just beyond your grasp? And what if those visions almost never became real? Carl Jung called this the undifferentiated intuitive personality, a rare and restless type of mind, gifted with imagination, cursed with unfinished beginnings, a person who sees everything that could be, but struggles to live with what is. Think about it. Have you ever found yourself sketching out an idea for a book, a business, or a dream project, only to abandon the next day for something new? Have you ever been told you're a dreamer, someone who starts strong but fades before the finish line? If so, Jung might say you've been caught in the undertow of your own intuition, powerful, limitless, but ungrounded. Jung observed that intuition, when it's raw and unshaped, doesn't anchor itself in reality. Instead, it dances, it leaps, it whispers about 1,000 futures, pulling you in every direction at once. To the undifferentiated intuitive personality, life can feel like standing in front of an infinite buffet of possibilities. Everything looks delicious, everything feels urgent, and yet you can only choose one plate. Most people pick and eat, but the intuitive drifter, they keep wandering, sampling here and there, never satisfied, never nourished. Maybe this sounds familiar. Maybe you felt that restless energy in your chest, the itch to chase something new before the last thing is even finished. Maybe you've lived with a notebook full of half-written plans, a folder of abandoned ideas, or a trail of projects that started with fire and ended in ashes. That doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're intuitive. But it also means you're undifferentiated. Your gift hasn't yet been sharpened into a tool. In this video, we're going to explore this unique personality the way Jung himself might guide us. We'll step into the restless inner world of the undifferentiated intuitive. We'll uncover the shadow side of this gift, the hidden dangers of living only in what could be. Then, we'll find the hidden treasure inside this type, the vision, the creativity, the spark that can light entire movements. Finally, we'll talk about how to transform this energy into something powerful, grounded, and real. Because intuition isn't meant to drift. It's meant to lead. So let's step inside the restless mind of the undifferentiated intuitive and see what we might discover. Step into the mind of the undifferentiated intuitive, and it feels less like a room and more like a storm. Ideas flicker in the air like lightning bolts, bright, dazzling, gone in an instant, every moment. There's another possibility, another path, another what if. But the storm never rests. To live this way is to wake up with 3 new ideas before you've even made coffee. It's to walk through the day half in reality and half in imagination, seeing connections others miss, possibilities others dismiss. One moment, you're planning to launch a business. By lunch, you've mapped out a novel. By evening, you're sketching a vision for a new life in another country. And yet, nothing is finished, because as soon as one path begins to take shape, another appears, brighter, shinier, more urgent. Maybe you know this feeling. That restless excitement when you start something new. The rush of possibility, the spark of discovery. The voice in your head whispering, "This is it. This is the one." But then, almost as quickly, the spark fades. The grind begins. The shine wears off. And before long, your intuition points somewhere else. Anywhere else. What remains? Half-built bridges, abandoned blueprints, a trail of beginnings with no endings. Jung described this type as undifferentiated because the intuition is raw, powerful, but unshaped. Like water spilling in every direction, it has no channel, no form, no discipline. And so the intuitive drifter lives in constant tension, the gift of vision paired with the curse of incompletion. It can feel intoxicating, even addictive, always chasing the next idea, the next vision, the next hit of inspiration. But deep down, there's another feeling too, frustration, a quiet ache, the sense that while life is rich with possibilities, it's thin in results. You see what could be so clearly, yet you live with what isn't. To outsiders, the undifferentiated intuitive may look like a dreamer, unreliable, scattered. But inside, it's not laziness, it's overflow. Too many powers, too little grounding. And unless that energy is shaped, directed, and disciplined, it becomes like smoke, beautiful to watch, but impossible to hold. This is the inner world, dazzling, restless, and endlessly unfinished. But every gift is a shadow. And for the undifferentiated intuitive, the shadow is a danger of drowning in endless visions, while life itself slips away. Every gift casts a shadow. For the undifferentiated intuitive, that shadow is subtle at first. It looks like freedom, the thrill of endless options, the excitement of always moving on to something new. But over time, the shadow grows heavier. Think of the project abandoned just before they could bear fruit. The relationships cut short when the spark faded. The careers or callings left behind are the first sign of struggle. Each path abandoned leaves behind a trail of ghosts, ghosts of what could have been. And those ghosts don't disappear. They linger. They whisper. They pile up until the intuitive is haunted by regret. Carl Jung warned that when intuition runs wild without discipline, it loses itself in fantasy. The undifferentiated intuitive doesn't just see the future, they live in it, which means the present feels like a burden, something to be escaped rather than embraced. Life becomes a series of unfinished stories, chapters without endings. Maybe you felt this. Maybe you started something with passion, only to walk away when it demanded more than imagination. Maybe you chased idea after idea, always certain the next one would finally complete you. But each time you left something behind, a piece of you stayed with it. And slowly, you began to wonder, am I moving forward, or just running in circles? The shadow side of intuition doesn't announce itself loudly. It creeps. It shows up in the frustration of watching others succeed while you still prepare. It appears in the loneliness of drifting away from people who needed stability, not just vision. It sharpens into regret, the quiet knowledge that possibilities are infinite, but time is not. And that regret can become a prison. Jung would say this is a danger of a psyche unbalanced, intuition without grounding, vision without structure. It creates a life of constant becoming, but never being. Napoleon Hill might add, definiteness of purpose is what separates the dreamer from the door. Without it, the intuitive drifter remains trapped in a world of someday. Possibility without action becomes regret disguised as daydream. That is a shadow of the undifferentiated intuitive. But in every shadow, there is light waiting to be found. Because this personality is not a curse, it is a gift. A gift that, when shaped, can spark revolutions, inspire movements, and see what others cannot. The question is, how do we turn this wandering flame into a guiding light? For every shadow, there's a light. And for the undifferentiated intuitive personality, that light burns brilliantly. Yes, the restless mind can drift, scatter, and abandon, but it can also see what others can't. The intuitive lives with their eyes fixed on the horizon. While others focus only on what is, the intuitive perceives what could be. They see connections invisible to others. They sense possibilities long before they arrive. Their minds move like rivers, weaving together fragments of experience into visions of futures no one else has imagined yet. History's greatest innovators, artists, and leaders were often those whose intuition refused to stay in the boundaries of the present moment. Maybe you've noticed it in yourself. You can walk into a room and instantly imagine how it could feel, how it could look, how it could transform. While others are limited by what's in front of them, you're already sketching out possibilities in your mind. To you, reality is raw material, something to be shaped, expanded, reinvented. And here lies the secret strength. The undifferentiated intuitive can inspire. They are often the spark in the room, the one who says, "What if we tried it this way?" They ignite imagination in others. They break the boundaries of tradition. They breathe life into stale spaces with ideas that feel alive, electric, and new. Even if they don't always finish what they start, they awaken something in those around them, an energy that ripples outward, sparking change. Jung suggested that intuition is the psyche's ability to see beyond the obvious, to sense meaning and possibility in the unseen. It is a compass pointing not to where we are, but to where we might go. For the undifferentiated intuitive, this compass is always active, sometimes too active. But when it's channeled, it becomes a guide not only for the self, but for entire communities. Napoleon Hill would remind us that every great achievement began as an idea, nothing more than a vision in someone's mind. The intuitive personality carries that raw material in abundance. Where others see walls, the intuitive sees doorways. Where others see problems, they sense hidden solutions. Where others see the present, they glimpse the future. So yes, the undifferentiated intuitive may struggle to finish. But there are also dreamers, visionaries, trailblazers. Their challenge is not that they lack vision. Their challenge is learning how to hold it steady long enough for it to take root. Because when they do, when vision finds form, what once looked like scattered sparks becomes a fire capable of lighting the world. The undifferentiated intuitive personality is not doomed to drift. Jung never saw it as a curse, only as a stage, a raw potential waiting to be shaped. Because every restless river, no matter how wild, can be channeled, and when it is, it becomes a force of power and creation. So how does the undifferentiated intuitive transform? The first step is grounding. Intuition sees possibilities, but without structure, they vanish like smoke. Start by writing your visions down. Not just once, but daily. Journal your ideas, but don't stop there. Rank them. Which one idea feels most alive right now? Which one connects most deeply to your values? By choosing, you begin to turn possibility into path. The intuitive often tries to chase everything at once. That's where energy is lost. So the second step is the power of one. Pick one vision, one project, one purpose, and commit to it fully, at least until you reach a defined milestone. Napoleon Hill called this definiteness of purpose. Without it, energy scatters. With it, energy multiplies. The intuitive lives on sparks of inspiration, but inspiration is fleeting. Discipline is what carries vision to completion. Or create routines. Or set small, measurable steps. And treat consistency as a true fuel of intuition. Because intuition is not meant to replace work, it is meant to direct it. Jung believed individuation required balance. For the intuitive, that means partnering with others who bring grounding, sensors, thinkers, doors. Find collaborators who can structure your visions, challenge your impulses, and help carry your ideas into reality. This is the essence of Hill's mastermind principle, surrounding yourself with allies who turn sparks into fire. And perhaps most important, begin. Don't wait for the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect energy. For the undifferentiated intuitive, waiting only feeds a shadow. Action, no matter how small, is the antidote. Jung would say this is a path toward individuation, the journey of turning raw, undirected potential into integrated wholeness. Hill would say this is how dreams become reality, through definiteness of purpose, persistence, and the courage to act. Both point to the same truth. The intuitive mind was never meant to be a prisoner of endless possibility. It was meant to be a guide, a light, a compass pointing to a destiny only you can fulfill. The path to transformation is not about silencing your intuition. It's about partnering with it, channeling it, grounding it. Because when vision meets discipline, when imagination meets persistence, the undifferentiated intuitive becomes unstoppable. We've walked through the storm of the undifferentiated intuitive personality, its restless energy, its haunting shadow, its hidden gift, and the path to transformation. And maybe, somewhere along the way, you recognize yourself. Maybe you felt that flood of possibilities, the endless rush of beginnings, the ache of unfinished endings. Maybe you've lived half your life in the future, while the present passed quietly by. If so, you are not broken. You are not lost. You are gifted. But a gift without form is wasted. Carl Jung would tell you that your task is individuation, to bring all the wild and scattered pieces of your psyche into balance and wholeness. Napoleon Hill would tell you that your power lies in definiteness of purpose, to focus your vision until it becomes reality. And together, they would tell you this: your future is not waiting for you someday. It is being built today. So here is my challenge to you. Before this day ends, write down one vision, just one, that has been calling to you, the one that keeps whispering in the back of your mind, even after all the others fade. Write it down, circle it, name it, and then take one step toward it. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because the undifferentiated intuitive personality doesn't need more ideas. It needs more action. And the first act, no matter how small, is the one that begins to set you free. If this journey spoke to you, subscribe, because we're just getting started. In the next video, we'll dive even deeper into Jung's map of the psyche and explore how these ancient insights can guide us in a world powered by technology and change. And in the comment below, tell me, what is the one vision you've been carrying that deserves to live through you? Because your answer may be the first step toward turning imagination into destiny. You are not just a dreamer. You are not just a wanderer of ideas. You are a visionary. And when you choose to ground your vision, you don't just change your life. You change the world around you. So begin today. Your future is waiting. And tell me in the comments, what vision are you choosing today? Let's build a community of visionaries turning intuition into reality.